What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're diving into an Esper Legends deck that actually was provided to me by a viewer here on the channel. They dropped it in one of my more recent videos when I was talking about the meta decks, and it's definitely a deck that seemed fairly interesting. I'm not going to call it what I guess they called it in the comment just because I feel like it would get flagged by YouTube, but I'm calling it Esper Legends as the deck is just full of legends. Every card in it is a legendary creature, which makes it definitely a very interesting deck in the sense that we're not playing any non-creature spells. We're not playing anything outside of legendary creatures and lands. So that's really all we're really doing here. It is of the Esper colors, so we're not playing Joda or anything like that, but it's still nonetheless a pretty decent list. It's playing a decent round of cards, some new, some that have already been in the meta. And overall, I've had decent luck with it. I've only played a couple games. One of the games I really wouldn't count because I dropped Denick on turn 2. My opponent just immediately scooped. But from what their comments said, they seem to have, pretty much good success with it right now. Based on their comment, they said they had it about 143 and 73 record, which is definitely a way you want to trend, especially when you're getting close to the higher ranks of MTG. So because I had all the cards, I figured I craft it and put it together and play it and try it out and see if I make my own tweaks. But for the most part, I left it the way it is. I was thinking about playing some non-creature spells, a couple removal spells like some cutouts and maybe some Infernal Grasp. But then I realized the fact that I play Thalia, and that kind of contradicts what I'm trying to do there, because if I play Thalia, then it's making my own removal spells cost that much more. So all in all, I kept it the way it was, just because like now when I think about it and kind of thought it over, it just didn't make any sense. Though, I'm not, out of the way of probably also adding a couple cutouts if I need to, just because I do think that's a pretty super effective card. Even if it does cost one more, it's still not a bad card. So it pretty much removes a lot of the early game creatures, especially in the more aggressive decks of the meta, though I haven't been against those yet because I only play tested this a few games and I really didn't get to play a ton of other diverse matchups really outside of like the mono black, and I think I played a Rakdos deck. But other than that, nothing else has been super crazy when it comes to the overall what is in this deck. There are a couple interesting things. Like I said, there are some new things. There are some interesting tricks that this deck has. The one I actually come to the realization that I really enjoy, especially in a meta that there's a lot of Lilianas everywhere, is Toll's Clever Conductor. It's a 3/1 that when it enters the battlefield, we get to connive, and then whenever we discard a card or one or more cards, we exile them from the graveyard. When it dies, we get to put the exiled cards into our owner's hand. So in a weird way, if our opponent forces us to discard and we have this out on the battlefield, we get to pretty much reoccur those cards, so we've never really lost them as long as this card doesn't get exiled. It will give us those cards back. So that's definitely good, though there are some ways that our opponent can, exile this from the battlefield and we don't get any of the cards back. But still, nonetheless, it's not a bad card to have, in the meta where there is a lot of discard with Liliana. Other than that, we also have Ratrabix of Urbog, the new 4-mana zombie creature token that when other zombies we control have vigilance, and then other legendary control creatures we control get to become 2/2 legendary creatures. In addition to what the card originally has, so we get like a token of them that then becomes a zombie in addition to what it originally was. So if any of our other legends die, we get it back on the battlefield as a zombie, which is definitely pretty sweet. We are also playing Urtai in the deck as a little bit of our like non-creature spell / creature spell, in the sense that when we can flash it in, we can counter target spell, activate ability, trigger ability, and make our opponent draw a card, or we destroy target creature or planeswalker and also make them draw a card. So, the downside is they get to draw a card, but the good side is we have a counter spell / removal spell built into a creature, so that's definitely good upside. Other than that, there are some of the typical faces you would see in this style of deck. I think any of the cards with Connive definitely work very well. Like I said, Tolls plus like a Rafine's definitely very good. Rafine's gonna help us trying to finish off games because the wider we get, the better we get attack, and the more things we get to connive. And give possibly whatever creature we target with the ability additional +1/+1 counters based on how many cards we've discarded. If you combine that with, say, like a Shieldred, we get to gain all that life for each card we draw and do the connive ability. We also have things like Elias, Core, a Sadistic Pilgrim, just a 2/2 Death Toucher that whenever a creature enters the battlefield, we gain a life. Whenever a creature we control dies, each opponent loses a life. So a little bit of drain there, which is definitely pretty sweet. And then we just have Thalia here to tax our opponent's non-creatures, all non-creature spells, but we don't play any, so it's really just attacking our opponents. We also have Denick here as a decent 2-drop, as it's a 2/3 lifelinker, and cards in graveyards can't be targeted spells or abilities, which is definitely good to counteract things like Trespasser or things that would try to target things in graveyards. And then we can disturb it back from the graveyard as the 3/2 side. So if we have to discard it, or if we have an extra one, we can always play the reverse side because we can play the front side and the back side at the same time since they're different names. And the other thing that's pretty cool that I didn't mention with Tolls is that all the legendary lands like Aganjo, Otawara, those are actually pretty awesome in the sense that if we use their cycling ability, or channel ability, I should say, it's technically you discard it to do the effect. And that actually pairs well. So then you discard when Tolls is on the battlefield, it goes underneath Tolls, but you still get the effect. And then all of a sudden, once Tolls dies, you then get the card back into your hand, so you get to do it all over again, which is definitely pretty awesome. I'm gonna dive into some games, gonna see how well we do. Like I said, the person who proposed this to me has a very good record. So far, I've had decent success, but I haven't played a ton of the games to really see how I fare with the deck. But let's just jump into some games and kind of see how we do. Just want to give a special shout out to the channel members here on my YouTube channel. You can also become a channel member yourself down below the video, hitting that join button. It definitely helps out a lot, and I just appreciate you guys for your support. Opponent goes first this time. Hands good, because we have all our colors. It's just a matter of what is our opponent playing. Can we keep up? Green. Interesting. I haven't played green yet with this deck. Not green. Golgari, possibly. And they search for interesting. So we'll play our Esper land. No, maybe they are just mono green and they're playing a search for a green spell. I don't know. Seems a little odd to me if I would say my, just seems like a weird, unless they haven't drawn their black, but they probably would have searched for their black mana. Unless it says search for a forest. No, it says basic land. So far, they've only presented me the fact that they're green. Sure. We got Llanowar. A good old Llanowar. So I think it's we play Rafine here, and we attack for 3. I'm gonna get rid of the other Denic to grow it, so we get 3 lifelink. What does this do? Search your library for up to 3 land cards, reveal them, put them into your hand, and shuffle. Huh. You don't say. I still attack for 2 creatures. I'm still going to put the counters here. So we'll get rid of another Rapine, and we'll get rid of one of these Orbogs. So we'll swing it for 5 lifelink. All right, we'll pay 1 for this. You can get your nice whatever you want. You get a 4/4, I guess, out of that. Sure. A very interesting mono green pile, right? Like a ton of forests. Damage. Got a 28. And we say go. Five mana. Slime. Okay. So they're going to create another slime, I think, out of this. You can swing it for 2. Oh, they get another 2. Okay. All right, well, we have one too many of those guys, but I'm going to play this. And let's swing in again. We're slowly just going to grow our big creature. We'll get rid of a backup of this. And I guess Plaza of Heroes, it only grows at 1, but it's still not bad. I mean, they have to start blocking. Right, yeah, you don't want to, like, take all this damage. Sure. End turn. But I have my graveyard. Nothing of any sort that I really want to talk into before. Karn. Okay. What are we Karning for?
I started this war, and I intend to finish it once
Power
and
Stone.
for all. Every Power Stone fuels
Tell me more.
our cause.
My turn. Land. Shield Ray. Attacks. I feel like I'm not really worried about their Karn. I also have a lot of life. I mean, I'm just going to put the gas on your life total. I mean, there's 11 on the ground that you can easily block, right? There's a 6-7, there's a 5-5. They're going to tap it and mill themselves. Take one. Sure. A lot of land. Up to 46. Down to 8. I mean, they can't Shigeki here because of shield, because of Dennick. Jewel Thief is fine. What else we got? Tell me more. Another Shigeki. Tell me more. Pay any amount of mana, look at that many cards from the top of your library, put one of those into your hand, and the rest in the bottom.
Desperate times call for innovative solutions.
So 2 mana. Paying 2 mana for this. To look at the top 2. Sure. I'll talk Enuma here for one. No, all lands. What do I need here? I'll grab an Urtai. Gain 2. Alright, so I think we attack all out. Just put pressure on their life total. They have to block. We'll put it all on Rafine here. Alright, so we'll get rid of a Shield Drip, we'll get rid of a Dennick. I guess I'll get rid of that... Rafine. Okay, so we'll grow Rafine up to a 5-8. We gain 8 life. And depending on how they block the Shieldred, we'll kind of see how this plays out. Sure. 4-5 block 4-5. 1-3 block our 6-7. All I really need to do here is protect our Shieldred, right? Well, actually, if they don't block the Radabik, I mean, we just get it back. Sure, 3-3 blocks there. 4-5 blocks there. That's fine. 4-5. What is this? Well, Urtai. We'll destroy another creature. We'll get rid of that one. Force him to draw a card here. You lose 2 life. You take 5 in the air. You're down to 1. We get a 2/2 Shieldred. On the play, hand is really slow, but we have 4 land. Play our tap land and just get out of the way. Maybe we double tap. It looks like we're playing mono black. We're not playing double tap. We're just gonna call tax their lands or tax a non-creature spell, so it turns off a lot of things. Because the only thing they can play here is a cutout. Sure. Fennec is good. I'll attack. Sure. 3 mana. I'll take 3. I'm gonna possibly gain 2 of that back. Sure. Awesome. No attacks because they don't matter. Drain you for 2. You're gonna trespasser here? You're looking at it. I mean, I'll take 3 if you want to flip and look at my hand. I'm not really worried about that. But I also can then gain 2. Sure. You have no good attacks here. No attacks. Trespasser, you're gonna eat the Denick. Sure. I lose 1. Cost 1 now? Say go. No. Sure. Sweet. All right. Gain 2. I can do 4 a turn. Sure. We're not really getting anywhere, are we? Sure. You get rid of my one Liza. That's all I really have. I think you exiled everything else. Sure. Nice. You can just go back and forth. I mean, what I could have done that turn is I could have attacked him with my 3/2. I think I would have gotten another trigger, right? Yeah, because whenever it enters the battlefield, I could have just got a trigger. Something I'm not used to. There's different lines that I definitely could play here. Sure. You gonna make me sacrifice a creature?
Enough with
Make me
the
discard a card?
mysteries. I've come for answers. Haven't you ever heard of personal space?
Thank you. This is already a legend, though. Ooh, nice. A nice Rafine for me. Sure. You can block. No blocks.
A delay, nothing more.
And turn. Sure. Okay. Perfect. Go on. Past the blockers. Is it just still discard a card? Sure. I have a bunch of cards. Discard. Past the blockers. We'll block here. Block here. We'll block. Nah. We'll just do it that way. Cycle. That's bitter. We'll get rid of that. We'll put that there. Discard those 5. They're at 4. We're at 8. To go. They only have 6 mana. Hook for 3. Well, I guess you got me there. My turn. Attack. It doesn't matter. Hey, good game. Oh, geez. At least we have something to discard to Rafine, so there's that. A part of me wants to draw an untapped land, though, on turn 2, because then we can play Thalia on turn 2, which is probably where we want to put Thalia. Land. It's like a part of me wants to draw an untapped land and just draw something else other than Thalia. Not Thalia. Okay, so we're gonna take a hit here because our opponent's probably gonna follow up with some sort of enchantment spell of some sort. Sure, we're going in for 3 points of damage here on turn 2. Kind of like not the way I'd probably play that personally. Just because I feel like you're gonna really hit for 3, which is not to me a very big deal unless you have like another one. Sure. So we're gonna hit for 6. I'll block 6. The reason I block 6 is because I have another. And I have a Denic. Five. 2/2. I'll take 5. No blocks. Makes whatever spell you're gonna cast cost that much more. Sure. It's a 4/4. We will play Rafine. And we'll connive. I'll get rid of a Denic. And I'll get rid of that. So I'll gain back 4 of that 5. And if you block the Thalia, you gain 4 life. But guess what I get out of it? Another Thalia. Sure. I'll take 7. No blocks. What else you got for me? Nothing. Interesting. We'll pump. We'll gain some life. I'll land, unfortunately. We'll follow that up with a Shieldred. And we'll say go. 17. Commune with spirits, okay. Okay, we're digging. We're digging. We're not drawing though. We're digging though. Okay, we're playing Restoration. Attacking for 6 in the air. Interesting. I'll take 6 because my flyer's tapped. What do you? Yeah, you're not attacking with anything else. I have a 4/5. I gain 2. We'll play our other Denic. We're gonna gain 6 life. Why don't we give? It's fine. Whatever ends up blocking Shieldred. I also didn't draw anything of use. We can always kill, but we can still gain 6 life, right? So like we're in a good spot. I literally just top decked all land. All right, double block is fine. Is that nope? Nope. Never mind. Okay. It's a 4/5. Could double block. Nope. Nope. Never mind. Oh, what? Yep. We'll shoot one of them. We're at 19. Say go. You're at less life than us now. Discard a card. What are we discarding? What do we got? We're discarding planes to get something else back. They could get another restoration here. Discarding Catilda. And I get a clue. Nice. His Catilda's ability costs 6 though. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. 2 different names. It's completely allowed. Just like you can have Catilda enchantment on something. Sure. You can attack for 13 in the air. No blocks. I'll go to 6. We go up. We'll swing all in. We'll connive on our lifelinker. Holy moly lands, Batman. I guess we'll get rid of 1 Catilda. And we'll gain a bunch of life, and then we'll get a bunch of lifelink. First strike damage. Damage. Sweet. End turn. I'll draw a card first. You gain more life. Resolve. Sure. I'll take action and get this lovely Triome that you thankfully got me. You're at 12? Got a 3/4. It's pretty sweet. Sure. What are we targeting? Shieldred. Interesting. Sure. Yeah, that's fine. 4-3. Sure. 24. Say go. Sure. What do you got for me? For Fiend. Perfectly fine. Sure. Um, 4-5. What do you got for me? Sure. Sweet. Sure.
There are good people.
What are we
in this
plussing?
city, and I will protect them.
Doing top 3 and looking for something
You're
3 or
safe now.
less. Interesting. Spreading the wealth. Fun. Sure. It's 5-5. Faster attackers. Attacking all in. Because you're dead on the backswing, though. Sure. Okay. I guess they didn't want to see it through. Opponent goes first. Hand is fine, I think. Hand is fine to put some tax on turn 2. I actually haven't put Ellis out, really, ever, on, like, curve. But I feel like in a mid-range meta, you want to throw, like, a Thalia out on turn 2 just to try to limit what they can do so early in the game. A lot of land. Though, thankfully, a lot of land in our deck does something. Well, we play 2-2 and kind of see what happens? Or do I limit them from what they can do on turn? You know what? I think we do this because I don't think they're actually going to attack with Shigeki, right? If they want to use removal on my guy that makes me gain life, that's a Death Toucher, sure. I'm not really, like, worried about it. And them spending all their mana to ramp, to me, is perfectly fine. Though it is kind of bad that, you know, we're slightly behind now when it comes to overall land on the battlefield, because they're going to be at 5 when we only at 4, so they're like a whole turn ahead on us. Sure. If they want to take 6 here, possibly. At least taking 4 for them to discard and then draw a bunch of cards. Would have been nice if I had like stuff open, but it was just kind of one of those things I had to do here, just because I wanted to try to my best to penalize them. And it looks like they're just a Gix Reanimator style deck, so nothing. It's gonna be an uphill battle, I would say overall. We'll take the one. They get a 4/4, which is not anything of super threat. It has Summon and Sickness. And they discard 2 Shigekis. Interesting. Tap land. Good for us. Nothing. Now, could attack, right, and draw, and hopefully draw stuff that's good in this position. Vulcanite here. We get rid of two Ravine. Ravines. We'll just kill it. And sure. We'll play Pilgrim. I'll put a stop here. Did I put a stop there? I don't know. Sure. What do you got for me? Any blocks? Sure. Whoa. So you're not going to do anything. I'm confused. So your goal is to bring out a 3/4 and attack and gain some life with a Titan. The blocks. Interesting. What can I hear? Hold on. 6, 12, perfect. Boop. And we're back. So overall, I feel like the games went pretty well with this deck. We played 18 in total. I went 13-5 here. I'm not sure how many are going to make it into the video because I don't want the video to be like 2 hours long. So it's definitely, you know, a deck that can really grind out the ladder. I think the idea here that it's a deck that is on the positive, makes it a pretty decent climber. It is on the expensive side, as I think the main deck of the whole thing is just a bunch of rares and mythics, except for 4 of the Ellis being the uncommon, and then the lands themselves are also kind of expensive, as well as there's a lot of dual lands and things like that. So it is not a deck for someone who doesn't have a lot of wild cards, so I do apologize that it's a little bit over budget than I typically post here on the channel. But it is a fun deck. It is a good deck. I guess if you're paying this much in rares and mythics, it makes sense that the deck performs fairly well. It's nice to see Rafine's still good. Combine that with Shieldred makes him pretty awesome. When you attack him with like 3 things, you have a Shieldred out, you gain like 6 life, which is pretty sweet. Throwing things on the battlefield, also pretty good. Radabik was pretty awesome in the times I got him out, and our opponent even killed things, but we got a 2/2 version of that thing, and the thing was still in our graveyard that we could get it back in one way or the other. Thalia has been really good in this meta with her being able to tax what your opponent's doing with that, adding that additional 1. Combine that with things that have ward on our side, like Rafine and the Radabik, it actually turned off a lot of what our opponent could do because they had to spend extra mana just to cast their non-creature spell. Then on top of that, they have now pay additional cost in that, so it's like a double tax in a way, which is definitely awesome. Urtai worked out really good, even though I would say, I was kind of thrown off because you're like, I don't want to give my opponent a card when I play Urtai, but it actually turned out to be very good because you combine that with something like a Shieldred, hitting your opponent for 2 points of damage when they get that card. Definitely sweet. We didn't see a ton of Liza here in the videos. I don't know if I'm going to have a game in here where I played her, but, she works when she is out. She's definitely a target that your opponent wants to get rid of because that gives all your creatures that they would kill that are other than her a way to get back into your hand. But overall, if you liked the video, hit that like button. This was like I said, this was a viewer's video deck list that they provided. I decided to try it out, and I figured I'd post it because, it felt like a pretty good deck that definitely could do well in the meta, so I want to show it off. So thank you again to Winter Void for sharing the list. So I can't take the credit for this. If you want me to check out a deck that maybe you're doing fairly well with on the ladder, you can always leave it in the comments below. If there's a deck that maybe I haven't checked out, though maybe you don't play it, but you want me to do a video on it, let me know as well down in the comments below. It definitely helps out to get you guys the videos that you guys are looking for. If you're new here, you want to know I post new videos like this one here on the channel, hit that subscribe button. But until next time, I'll see you in the next video.